how much of a believer are you in that though?
About building muscle and burning fat?
Burning fat and building muscle at the same time.
I come right out and tell people, you know what, you got to choose one or the other. So I get that all the time. What's your primary goal? Oh, well, you know, I want to put on some muscle and I want to burn fat. And I'm upfront with everyone, and it's like this. Listen, when you're in a calorie deficit, your body is not growing. Okay, it's breaking down. Remember, anabolic versus catabolic? You're either one or the other. You're either growing or you're breaking down, and you're doing so for, you know, 2, 3, 4 months at a time. So that it takes consistency in being anabolic or catabolic that's really going to elicit the change that you're looking for, right? So if you're trying to grow, dude, it's hard to grow, especially for, you know, ectomorphs like you and I. You got to consistently bump the calories up, and it gets harder and harder to maintain those calories. For the same reason, you know, in dieting, you got to be in a deficit for a long time. You know, one cheat meal out of 7 days a week out of 40, so 1 out of 42 meals, you're getting, you know, you're getting some extra carbohydrates or an influx in calories. That's not a lot. You got to stay in that deficit. You got to get used to it, right? That's your new home. Live in it. So if you're in the realm of build fat, burn muscle, it's going to take you your entire life to get you where you want to go, and you're still not going to. That's why if you want to get where you're going, you got to optimize everything. If you want to grow, you got to set everything in place that is the most beneficial as far as time and effectiveness as possible to get to your goal. Why take a year to do something when you could do it in 3 months? You know, why take an entire lifetime to look the way you want to look when you can shed the fat in 12 weeks?
All about just staying committed.
Exactly, and it's like there's such a small window of a calorie deficit and a surplus that you'd have to be in that how would you ever know? Like, your composition's gonna stay the same. You know, it's hard enough to gauge how somebody's changing weekly when they're in a significant deficit or in a surplus. But if you're trying to stay within that window, do you really know how much? I mean, unless you got machines that are gonna, you know, measure your muscle and your fat to the ounce, there's just no way. It's counterproductive. You'd be better off just, you know, focusing on one or the other. I always say burn the fat first, then build the muscle from there. After you get done burning the fat, and you know, you get done with whatever goal, stage, finish your diet, your body's gonna be in a real efficient hoarding mode, okay? It's gonna wanna grow. So you take those, you know, take that influx in calories and you use it, right? You beast out in the gym and you put on a lot of muscle.
When they don't have a base.
Well, the problem is, the problem with hitting it right off the bat like that is you're you know, when you get done with the show or you get done with the diet, right, you're hungry all the time. Even if you're sick to your stomach, full, you're still hungry. And so that's a signal your brain is telling you to put that weight back on. It does not want to be here. It doesn't like that condition, right? It needs more fat to feel comfortable, right? So if you don't properly reverse diet yourself and you just like, oh, you know, okay, done with this diet, bulking season, I look tiny, you're gonna get fat, dude. You're gonna get fat real quick, and you don't see yourself getting fat until you look in the mirror one day and you're like, shit, how did this happen?
Because you're basically you're surprising your body.
You're
not used to it.
Exactly, and so your body is sending you all the right signals to get it back to where it was before. It didn't want to diet. Look at all this shit that it told you. You know, I'm dying, I'm hungry, I'm starving, eat carbs. It's sending you all these signals to prevent any change that it's going through, right? And you're just putting it through the ringer. So I mean, that's the most important thing, is you got to reverse diet at least for 2-3 weeks after. Get your metabolism running at that equilibrium, that baseline, you know, get yourself stable and then progressively up the calories. But if you go full speed into it, man, you're gonna blow it. The difference is huge. Yeah, you're gonna get much more benefit if you stop working towards a rep range and start working towards your physical and mental capabilities 100%. So I use the rep range until I get to my working sets. Then it's like, shit, I may rep out 25, you know? The reps don't matter. What matters is putting the muscle under tension and hitting that wall that wall where your brain's like, dude, no way, I can't take any more. Lactic acid starts to build up and your muscle is just burning, it's on fire, right? So that's causing a significant amount of damage to your muscle. It's causing growth factors to be released, satellite cells, everything. So it's causing all this inflammation, right? Brain's telling you to stop, stop, stop. Just like when you're dieting, just like anything else your brain's gonna tell you to do. It's gonna tell you to stop because it doesn't like the pain. It's uncomfortable. Most people panic and they stop and they rack the weight, right? Well, it's like, what happened? You had at least 10 more in you. Oh, you know, that was my last one, like I couldn't do anymore. No, you chose not to, right? Physically, you gotta be more aiming for what your body can do physically, not for what you can do mentally. I always say your mind's gonna fail way before your body is gonna fail.
And it's funny too, because a lot of people, I mean, especially in the bodybuilding industry, they look forward to that pain.
It's a sadistic kind of thing, where you start to correlate that pain with, you know, the swelling of your muscle, the pump that you're getting, the results that you're getting. If you're in a deficit or a surplus, the growth that you're getting, or the fat burning effect that you're getting. So I know exactly what I have to do in the gym when I show up to train chest. And that's going to be this much more than I did the time before that, right? So some days you're gonna have no energy. Do you think you're gonna lift as much as you did when you maxed out, you know, a week ago? There's no way. So then what? Well, shit, we just call it a day and leave, I guess? No, you bring yourself to that physical limit, right? Maybe your body has less carbohydrates. Maybe you're dehydrated. Maybe you have no electrolytes. So your body's just not firing the same. But either way, you have a physical threshold that you need to be able to tap into. So it's all about getting to that point where it hurts like shit, and you know, and just pushing through till you hit that second wall where it's just like, all right, hands down, you know. And so there's huge factors in you know, your nutrition, like your carbohydrate stores, that are going to play into that. And if you can realize that it's a mental game, it's your brain that's going to stop you, then you're going to get much more benefit from your training than sticking to a rep range. That's it?
I think we covered it.
Got it? You pretty much got that in one take too.